It's Aneesa Getaneh. They was doubting by my calling, now they peeping the wave.
Hey guys, it's Aneesa Getaneh with the Pretty and Profitable podcast, and today's principle that we're going to cover is philanthropy. And I have an amazing guest. She's a certified midwife. She's an advanced practice nurse. You guys know how I feel about nursing. And what else? She's a mother, a wife.
Yes.
A mother of two.
A mother of two girls. Well, 5 total.
5.
I got bonus children.
Oh, yes. Mother of 5.
Mm-hmm.
I want to introduce you guys to Christine. Hey, Christine.
Hello. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, more than what I said?
Yes. So I am a Chicago native. I always start with that because, honey, I'm always representing the south side of Chicago.
Yes. She had to let you know what side.
Yes. So I relocated here in Georgia,
Okay.
going on 10 years now, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And moved here.
Okay.
And I got a job as a nurse midwife in the hospital setting. And then shortly after that, I started my own business in home birth.
So what made you go from the hospital to starting your own?
There was a lot going on in my life.
Okay.
It was not a matter of, I need to get out of the hospital to do home birth, particularly.
Yes.
It was more so God's way of giving me more time to be with my children. I moved here as a single mother.
Okay.
My youngest was 2 and my oldest was 5.
Okay.
And I just hit the ground running.
Okay.
You know, I was newly divorced.
Okay.
And hit the ground running with this new position that I had. And I suffered a lot in that position and was hardly home with my children.
No support.
No support. Everyone was at home in Chicago. So by grace, it was like people just started helping me. You know, people were planning in my life to help me with these children so that I could provide for them.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a God thing, you know. It's stuff that I couldn't even really explain how it unfolded. It just did.
Yeah.
That's
That's great.
Yeah.
So I heard you say that you were divorced. Can you tell me now? There's people that celebrate divorce like, I'm not married and things like that. But can you tell me? I know that there was some bad things. Of course, losing a spouse and not being with the person you thought you would be with. But tell me, what are some of the good things that kind of unfolded from you, kind of
making that separation?
Yes.
I was in a situation where, I think when we're in bad relationships, we try to find that, we try to justify staying. And so I think we all go through I have to stay for my children.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense without breaking it completely.
Yes.
And went through that, and that was definitely not the answer for me. But the good that came out of it was, it just proved, I always say when I moved to Atlanta, I became a full-grown adult. Granted, I was 28. No, I wasn't 29. I was like 30-something years old. And I always say when I moved away from Chicago is when I became a full adult. Because I had to make it happen.
Yeah.
You know, so I saw the resilience that I had. I just kind of, it was apparent to me how resilient I was and how driven I was.
Yeah.
But even that came with its own
being too strong
stuff. Yes.
I heard it.
Yeah. You heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because that is something, I believe that's an idea that's passed down, of course. Where we have to pick up the pieces. We, don't, just not feel, just keep moving and things like that. Very much attached to our experience here in America. You know what I mean? Just not being able to feel. And even thinking about, for example, Black women in the time where we were kidnapped and held as indigenous workers.
Yes.
There were times where a woman would carry a child and she would never see that child again.
Absolutely.
Because it was sold.
Correct.
Or it was fed to crocodiles. So there was something in us that required us to be strong. And I think that we still teach that We're not going through those same things. Now, mind you, we still have things, Black women, that we have to. But there is a level of which we have to kind of pay attention and be aware. We don't have to be that strong anymore.
Correct.
We can say, I need help. Like, I'm not okay.
Because we equate that strength.
Yeah.
With a lot of times that's your mode of survival, right? Yeah. So what you just mentioned was, I still have to survive, even if my child is taken away from me and sold away from me. I still have to live. Yeah. So this strength, quote unquote, is all we had to keep going. And so how that's very traumatic.
But think about all the things that we're holding inside of us. You know?
Oh, yes.
And I'm glad that I'm talking to you, because I feel like, we hold that and we carry that in our womb.
Yes,
right?
we do.
And we pass it down to our children, and it shows up in childbirth.
Oh, absolutely. All the time.
It shows up hypertension, all these things, right? Let me just say, I'm not the practitioner, but the insight that I got on the whole childbirth thing for me came from God. So what I'm telling you is just insight from him. And in my book, I was talking about how there were times early in my life I saw the enemy trying to physically kill me. There were situations where I should have actually died and I didn't. The day I graduated from high school, someone hit me and I ran into a wall, and it looked as if I parked the car. It didn't even look like an accident, and I walked away from the accident. But from that time, those things stopped, the whole physical thing, and it went into the attacks came through men that I was in relationships with, and it came through childbirth. Because every birth was like halfway close to death. Every one of them was high risk. It was all these things. And it wasn't until my last child, hallelujah, when I realized, she said, you have this one. Now, mind you, I'm healthy.
Yes.
Blood pressure's low, all of this. But I'm like, how can I be healthy? I don't have diabetes. I am fine on paper. Like, on paper, I'm good. But then I have all these high risk things. To where we had to watch my pregnancy. Every single birth was 36 weeks. I would have the baby at 36 weeks. Blood pressure would just go up, go crazy, body's acting weird. And I realized that the attack was no longer on my physical body. It was just on the next. It was on the next. And a lot of my attacks came through people or through the spouse that gave me this seed, and now I'm, and so God showed me that. I talked about it like, wow, like some attacks transfer from one thing to another.
Definitely.
And we carry these things scientifically. It shows up, but there's some other things that are happening.
Oh, absolutely.
Within our bodies.
And you're right. It's like other things can show up physically in your body in that moment during pregnancy and labor even.
You look fine.
I mean, there's instances where we're in labor with a mom, right? And if the wrong person walks in the room, everything shuts down, the energy shifts, and there's this palpable like change in the room, right? And you can feel it and sense it, and we're all like, what happened?
Yes.
Who did it?
Who is that person? Right?
What happened? Tell us, talk to us, that all can interfere with birth, Yeah.
And for me, I've always had a Black doctor, because that was just one of my, I didn't trust.
Must-haves,
I did not trust a Caucasian person to touch me medically, right? But this last birth, the doctor that I have, she's a chief of the hospital.
Okay.
And 32 weeks or something, she says, you know what, Aneesa, I'm going to put in the notes for your delivery. So we have everything ready. We have the blood ready. She prepared all these things. And she says, I'm going to go on vacation, but no one can do the surgery but me.
Okay.
Right? 3 days before I had the baby, I heard God tell me everything's going to be okay. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Okay, it's like 2:00 in the morning. I feel crazy. I'm telling my husband like something's going on. I get to the hospital. I have COVID. My blood pressure is like 180, 100. It just keeps rising. It's going crazy. And this is around COVID time, so no one could be in there.
Wow.
No one could be in there, right? And my doctor was on vacation. This white lady comes in and she's like, I need you to sign this consent. Your body's out of control. We can't control. We're going to have to put you to sleep. And I'm looking at her like, I do not want this white lady. I mean, it probably was all this stuff from me realizing my doctor's not here. This white doctor's here. They're going to kill me. Like, it was just all these things once I realized she's not there.
And that was also ancestral trauma.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh,
the whole thing goes deeper than...
I learned so much from childbirth. You know?
Yeah.
And so
we've always been insecure, you know, felt unsafe in the hands of others, you know?
Yeah.
So all of that was coming up for you.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
So they put me to sleep. I woke up and the doctor was like, you know, you almost died, right? Just the notes. They were like, she came back. She's like, she's reading the notes. She's like, baby. And so I had to get a blood transfusion. I lost a lot of blood. But before they gave me the blood, they said, do you feel dizzy or anything? And I'm like, no. Like, I was fine. I usually, after C-section, same day, I get up, I walk, I do my normal thing. But what you're saying and what we're talking about as I'm walking even through it is that my body was used to pushing through. I didn't even know that I had lost that much blood. They told me I should have been dizzy. I should have felt sleepy.
Right.
And I'm sitting in the bed like, you know.
Disconnected.
Connected, but disconnected from what was happening. Because we have to keep moving.
That's like fight or flight.
Yes. My blood level was at 5. It should have been at 11, I think, or higher or something, right? I didn't have enough blood in my body to be discharged.
Yeah, 5
and I was
very critical.
In the bed like,
hi, everything's fine. I'm fine.
Right? But also, I had to also remember that this was a miraculous thing because God had told me 3 days before that everything was going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know? So it's so many things, right? So childbirth is really big for me.
Yeah, and it's a very spiritual process for all of the people in the room. If you can't feel, like, I never go to a birth and can't feel the presence of God because God is directing me, guiding me, giving me what I need to make the right decisions, see the things I need to see, call the thing, you know what I mean? Like, I can't function without the guidance of God.
Yes.
So I always talk about how I feel the physical presence.
Yes.
In the room.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And that's how 10 years later, I'm able to still be in the space that I'm in because I'm in a very, I guess whoever you're talking to would call it a risky place to be, which is in the home setting, which is not the case all the time. But there's never been a situation where just something horrible, you know, I'm always able to discern like, okay,
happening?
we need to change this because this isn't going the way it should be going, or just very tuned in.
So it's a calling.
It is. Oh, absolutely.
It's a special connection. People have discernment in different ways, but yours is the entrance of life, like bringing a new soul.
Yes.
You know, and oh God, let's not talk about that. I mean, when I think about birth, when does that soul enter the body? You know what I mean? It's very interesting to me.
Very.
When does the soul of the baby, you know what I mean? Like when we have within ourselves a soul. That's crazy.
Very.
You know? Oh, God. Okay. So what were some of the things that you saw in traditional nursing? So you came from the hospital, you went to the home setting, and I worked in the hospital for a very long time, so I can, yes.
You understand.
Yes, but what are some of the things that you saw in traditional nursing that really turned you off?
Well, anyone working in the medical system is a part of the system. regardless of your intent, regardless of, your passion, regardless of anything, you are a part of the system and their
agenda.
Whether you know it or not, whether you want to be a part of that or not, you're making a choice to be a part of the system.
Oh, girl, he's about to have me say something. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I think that, just people going to work on a daily basis, some people may not understand that. I can say that as a nurse, I wouldn't consider the environment I worked in as being very toxic or hostile. I was
you was in labor and delivery?
Yeah, but I was in a very nurturing.
Labor and delivery always seems to be. Seems. No? Okay.
No.
Okay.
It isn't.
Okay.
But I can say the facilities that I've worked in were very nurturing to the nurses, to each other. It wasn't this, our fights weren't major fights where it was like, they were respectful. Like, it was just a nice, warm and fuzzy place to be working, like a unicorn of the hospitals.
It always seems like labor.
So I feel like I was blessed in that space to be able to be working with providers, doctors who were amazing, who would teach, who cared, Black women, Black physicians. It was just amazing.
Yeah.
But we were a part of an agenda.
Yes.
I mean, I wasn't able to care for clients like the way I care for them now. And it's just amazing because in the home setting, you're focused primarily on mom.
The mother.
And that's it. Not the computer, not the paperwork, not the policies and procedures and restrictions and
Exactly.
It's very family focused.
Yes.
And so that makes it so much more fulfilling for me to be in that space. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful place to be.
Yeah. And I found in the hospital that it is true that the pain of a Black woman is ignored on a lot of levels. Because for two reasons. We do endure a lot. We don't say when we need help, but they also don't. They disregard our pain.
Yeah, we're not priority. We've never been.
And so you have to. So I went from CNA into case management. So I knew how to advocate for myself. But I was sitting there thinking, what about people that don't know how to advocate for, And I remember I had the C-section. I asked for, I knew that Norco made me feel depressed.
Got it.
I had tried it and I was like, I don't want Norco, please. And so I said, well, what other, medication can I take? And I think it was Percocets. But at that time, that's when Percocets were, I guess people were using it or whatever the case was. So I had a charge nurse come in to kind of check to see. She didn't say this, but she was assessing before they had the doctor write for Percocet because I requested that I not take Norco. So I was knowledgeable enough to say, I don't want Norco because of this. And then the next one was Percocet. But that I was treated as if possibly I was on drugs or I was trying to seeking drugs, right? And I knew what she was doing because I came from the medical field, right? But imagine how we feel. We just had a baby and we're being treated like a criminal.
Oh yeah. You're seeing, there's so much.
You just gave birth and they're checking
when you walk in the door. When you walk in the door.
Yes.
Don't be a single Black mom having your fourth baby or, anything.
And you know what was interesting? My ex-sister-in-law, we were in labor at the same time on the same floor, like 2 doors down, same last name. They thought for a second that it was that my ex-husband and was like the father of both. And we had to clarify.
Oh, wow.
But the way they were treating us was like, hot
topic.
Right. Until they realized it was just 2 sisters on the same floor, But it's just interesting, yes, how women are, Black women are treated. And you feel it, but you don't really know what's going on, especially if you're not familiar with the medical field.
Oh, absolutely.
You're like, what, Ooh. So what exactly is midwifery? Tell me.
Midwifery is basically I'm a nurse, so I'm speaking from the nursing side and nursing aspect of midwifery. But a midwife is a nurse. I'm a nurse midwife, so that is a person who is very well educated and trained on how to take care of women all throughout the lifespan.
Nice.
Okay. And we are experts in normal and natural childbirth and pregnancy and the normal natural
Which is big
processes.
in the UK. It's big in the UK.
Yeah, not here.
Not here.
Yeah. Yeah. So the midwife was, just blacklisted, years ago.
You know why?
Criminalized.
Though? You know why? Because you're taking away
money and power.
There we go.
It's all about money and power. And so they did a really good job of eradicating midwifery. So now we still are having conversations about what is a midwife and what does a midwife do. But it's like the oldest profession in the world.
Absolutely.
Ever in creation. And we're still explaining like what midwives do and why they're safe and why, and how women can benefit from midwifery care, And I'm just loving this new revelation, if you will.
Yeah.
Some women are just becoming a lot more aware of their options.
Yeah.
Because, moms that come to me are like, I don't want that.
Yes. Yes.
They walk in knowing what they don't want.
They don't want. But then that speaks about patient care. Can I talk about patient care for a second?
Yes, please do.
Because I have a strong opinion. I have a nursing assistant school. So I'm a part of the solution for the medical field.
Yes.
So I have strong opinions about nursing. What is your thought about the climate of nursing and patient care? Because I see people saying patient care is horrible. Nurses are talking about, we need help, we need assistance, patient care, and all this stuff. What is your thought on the climate of nursing right now?
I don't know, because I've not been in the spaces in a while.
Right. You haven't been there, but you're watching it. And
I'm watching it. Okay. And
because I'm not in it either. I'm on the business side of it now.
I don't think anything's new. The issues aren't new. They've been around.
So I talk about money. I talk about money a lot and building wealth. Nurses are always talking about they need more money. Do you agree with that?
Well, we all need more money. Shoot.
Do you think that more money will solve the healthcare problem?
More money as far as
paying the healthcare?
Well, that'll always. Can we just talk about it?
Let's talk about it.
Okay. I know that when I went into nursing school almost 20 years ago, I knew I was passionate about nursing. I knew I was passionate about nursing. I wanted to be a nurse since I was a little girl. I've watched family members be nurses and work in their roles, and they were passionate about it. So part of my concern, and I'll just say it, is that we might be having people entering the field without the intent or the passion to drive them in that profession. Because when we make it all about money, it's still not going to be.
It's never going to be enough.
What it needs to be.
It's never going to be enough. If
now,
it's about
because you say that, and it's like, well, I know when I was a travel nurse, honey, I was living in Miami on South Beach, making a whole lot of money. I was getting a check. But as long as we keep taking this back to the system, though.
Right.
If you're working in a system that is not meeting your needs on a professional level as an employee, etc., I mean, that's a whole situation. So what are we doing?
So I think that it's a cycle that people just speak into without seeing the bigger picture. So for example, in order to have a hospital, you need a doctor, you need you need a nurse. You have to have a doctor, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Meaning the normal structure of a hospital.
Absolutely.
You have to have a doctor.
They run the facility.
You have to have a pharmacy.
Yes.
You have to have nursing. You have to have the janitorial service.
Yes.
You have to have food service. You have to have laundry. Right? There's so many aspects of the system. But nursing says we should be paid more because we're the heartbeat of the hospital, which I believe that.
Yeah.
However, if someone gives you $5 more, it's not going to help you give better patient care.
That is absolutely correct.
$5 more. So as a business, if you're screaming you need more money, but you're still going to come with the same attitude, why should I give you more money? Why? Like, they're talking about patient care, but if I give you more money, then that comes out of the budget to pay another CNA that could help you. But they're not thinking about it as a business. They're thinking about it as an individual. And you can't come into a system with the individual mindset. You actually can't come into a system and say, I know I signed on the dotted line this, but I believe now I deserve more. Because now and then, so everybody left nursing, right? They left nursing and went to travel. That still affects the system.
It does.
So now we're talking about the travelers making more. No, we're not going to be an employee. We're just going to go to traveling. But it's coming from, and I talk about in the book, there's levels of identity crisis, right? I talk about the slave mindset. I talk about the hustler mindset and the queen, right? The slave is always rallying, upset about their circumstances. And I'm not talking about American slaves. I'm just talking about the person that just works and trade their time for money that doesn't leverage, right? They think that more money is going to solve the problem. So we are listening to the voices of people who got a degree to actually trade their time for money. You're trained in your program to think like that. Even now, even some that are in entrepreneurship, they don't still leverage as a real business owner. They're still creating jobs and becoming a worker, right? So you say within a system that I'm going to leave this system and travel and go back to the system and you're going to pay me more. But then we say, well, what's going on with patient care? And what's going on? Well, you just allocated the money as a traveler. You came back with the same bad attitude and the patient is still here. You know?
So now bringing in the philanthropy part. Because
Yes.
talks about trading time for dollars.
Yes.
But Christine very much so still trades her time in a way that she's giving of herself.
Right.
The philanthropy.
Oh, I love. So that, that's one of the things that really, it really bothers me about nursing is that we get into the field. Yes, this is a field where you actually have to like what you do.
You do.
This is not a field where you can just come in, draw, and, this is a field where you actually have to have compassion.
That is correct.
And you're signing up for that.
Correct.
That's a part of the job, right?
Yeah.
So I know that you're still in this field, and I'm still in this field on a different side, business side, right? And I talk about the Proverbs 31 woman, that she's a philanthropist. I think we get at a level where we really understand our purpose. We're able to become profitable. And then from there, we are giving of ourselves in a different level because now we understand our assignment. So I see that you're doing that within what you're doing. Tell me more about that part, the philanthropy part.
So my role as a midwife, I'm a business owner. It takes all of me. I feel like my position is all encompassing and it requires, I can't just go to someone's house and deliver their baby. We have to build relationship. We have to like each other. We're in a whole relationship, right? For a year.
Yes.
We have
to, like a Syrian.
Listen.
Same type of.
We have to be on the same accord, and we have to float on this boat until we reach the goal. Yeah. Right? And so everyone has to be at peace.
Yes.
During that. So you're doing that. I'm doing that with multiple women, multiple families. And I can say that it's fulfilling.
Yes. Because this is your purpose.
So I am absolutely fulfilled.
Yes.
And I'm still very passionate about what I do.
Yes. And that's important.
I've just become a little bit smarter in doing it.
Tell us how. You don't have to go into detail, but What is smarter in this field?
Smarter means that so for years, and I think we all start off when we start a business, we are on hustle mode.
We have to.
Hustle mode has its purpose.
It does, but it has to die.
But it has to die. And it will.
It will die. Yes.
You know, and then you're left like looking at yourself.
Right.
But I'm approaching 10 years of being a midwife.
So you're an expert.
So I consider myself full grown now.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done a lot of taking care of myself.
Okay.
You know, and creating boundaries around myself.
Mm-hmm.
How you can contact me, what you should contact me for, and what can wait until your visit.
Yes.
Who I work with, the circles I run with, who helps us make this thing run smoother and more, seamless.
Yes.
And I've just poured into that part of my business because, and who I work with.
Yes.
I can't work with everyone.
You get to choose.
I get to choose. Yes. I get to choose who I work with without that sounding weird or negative.
No.
But you can't work with everybody. No. Everyone doesn't align with each other. And I'm okay with that, And I'm just like, let's find you who you need to be with.
Yes.
But I have become a lot more, I've just implemented a lot more, more tools and just more, just the wisdom piece of it.
Yes.
I really pay attention to what felt good, what didn't feel good. And I'm not afraid of modifying.
Yes.
So that I can work more peacefully.
That's good.
I can do my work happier,
What I hear from you is like you have really understood, you understand your assignment, you understand your purpose. And once you understand that, you're able to create a wall, not a wall like a guard,
right?
But it talks about a city like that has a wall. You're a city, it's your kingdom, right? And once you have and understand that this is your kingdom, you start to create spaces where you have boundaries. Like you understand this is precious.
It is.
And I talk about that as one of the principles. And visually, what I see or what I'm hearing from you is, you know how you have that rope, it's like a vinyl rope that people use to tell you what line to go through.
Yeah. Yep.
So you have that rope, but then you have the vinyl rope, like the VIP, right?
Yeah.
And when you really understand your assignment, you toss that vinyl. It's like you're creating that vinyl, that velvet rope.
Yes.
You're creating a space where it's like, this is mine and this is how we operate. And even people that go behind the velvet rope, they just act a little different, right? Because they know that it's a privilege.
It is a privilege.
To be, right?
Yeah.
So it's so beautiful. You're saying it without saying it, to watch a woman that understands the assignment, that's passionate about it. And now you're learning to give in a new way because you have done the work.
Yes.
You know the work.
In and out.
In and out.
I love that, how you put that. That's beautiful. I love that.
But that's what I
visual.
hear. That's what I hear. And I want, like, my true desire for women is to experience that within their identity, within their assignment, which is yours, could never be mine. It's not possible.
Yeah.
But to put that velvet rope.
Yeah.
Not a guard, but just saying that this is how we act in here. This is what we do. And these are the people that are coming in here.
Yeah, just going back to your conversation about the system, right? And nursing in the hospitals. And even my vision is for there to be a mass exodus of nurse midwives leaving the hospital so they can experience what I'm experiencing in the work.
But what about the people that go to the system that need
Yes. But we need more nurse midwives in the
true.
communities like myself, because that gives so much more depth.
Yes.
Because once you enter the system of the hospital, you are depleted day one. You go in like, I thought I could do A, B, and...
Yeah, because it's not your system.
It's not yours.
It's not yours.
It's not yours.
Yeah.
And there's a different thing going on here. And it's like, I just wish, that we could start putting that into more minds. Like, you can come out of there and do something else. It doesn't have to look like home birth. It doesn't have to look like what I'm doing.
Yes.
But you definitely have what you need to go out here and create your own happy in your profession, because nursing, midwifery is so heavy.
Oh, it is. It is.
And you can quickly burn out, you know.
If you don't set the right boundaries.
You know, and I think we just have to be more active about reclaiming our happiness in that profession.
So tell me this, with midwifery, is it covered by insurance?
Yeah, so midwifery
Okay.
is covered by insurance.
Nice.
The home birth piece may not be.
Okay.
But the care can be, you know, either in network or out of network, you know, insurances do cover.
So basically, women that, even if they don't have a lot of money, can have this service.
Yeah, because midwives like myself, we have something for every budget, you know. So it's not a matter of, you know, oh, you can't access care if, you know, A, B, and C. We have so many different offerings. And, you know, it's just a matter of communicating. I really need such and such. Okay, let's see what we can do for you.
Right.
You know?
So that really fits into the principles, because I talk about the Proverbs 31 woman, that the philanthropy piece is that she extends her hand to the poor. And so you have positioned yourself outside of a system, created something that will allow you not only to take care of high profile clients and all of that, but to also take care of people who would not ever really have access to your type of service. So you are definitely the Proverbs 31 woman.
Oh, amen.
So with your midwifery practice, what are some of those other services besides home?
So with your midwifery practice, what are some of the other services that you offer besides the home birth?
So we also have a program called the Prenatal Companion Program, where it's everything but the home birth.
Okay.
So not everyone wants to birth at home. We know that. We get that, or not everyone can. But we have services where you would get the prenatal care and visits with a midwife. You get a full scope doula to help you throughout your pregnancy and your labor. We have childbirth education classes, breastfeeding classes. We have just a wealth of networking of like childbirth professionals that we have available, you know. We also have a digital suite, like a digital learning suite on the website. And we just have a la carte services. You can come and say, hey, Christine, I just need A, B, and C.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool. Well, let's work it out.
That's good.
Even well woman care and regular routine visits, you know, outside of pregnancy. We have, you know, those services as well. So there's a lot.
Yeah, I'm looking at you. So for women who might be interested, ask her really quick though, do you have to be in Atlanta?
Okay.
Take advantage. And then for women who are interested, she can share.
Okay. So do you have to be in Atlanta in order to take it? Hold on. Do you have to be in Atlanta to take advantage of your services?
Our digital educational library on the website is for anyone, but as far as physical care, maternity care, yes, we're only licensed in Georgia.
Okay.
So Atlanta, Metro Atlanta, rural Georgia, that's where we practice.
And how can people get a hold of you? They don't have your number.
No. That part.
Right.
Instagram, we're at Birth by Grace Midwifery is on Instagram at Birth by Grace. Our website is www.birthbygracemidwifery.com. And Facebook, Birth by Grace Midwifery. We also have a YouTube channel, which you can really see, you know, what home birth looks like. Real home birth families having babies, and see what the process is, because it's really not as crazy as people think it might sound. But we do have videos and a whole series on home birth care on our YouTube channel at Birth by Grace Midwife Christine.
And we have a new podcast dropping called The Birthday.
Thank you. That's why you're here.
Oh, that's right. Don't forget.
There you go. We're babies.
I know, right? She's the problem. We also have an exciting new podcast dropping called The Birth Exchange, where we are
part of the Elevate Network.
Elevate Network doing its thing.
Yes.
Our podcast is all about, you know, reclaiming your power in birth and wellness. Wow. And it's dropping this fall, the Birth Exchange podcast.
We just did our shoot recently.
Yeah, fabulous.
Oh my goodness. Amazing.
That was fun.
It was.
We got to do it again.
Yes. So for the Pretty on Paper segment, I ask all of my guests one beauty secret. So I'm going to ask Christine today, what is one of your beauty secrets that you would like to share with the audience?
I found my product for my face. Okay. My face loves it.
Okay.
Product loves me.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Osea.
Okay.
OSEA.
Okay. What is it?
It's based in California, girl.
What is it?
It's a facial. It's so they're like mineral based out of the sea, like algae and seaweed based.
So I can just go to the beach.
Skincare.
It's like going to the beach.
It's everything. The whole line is everything.
Really?
So that's
Osea.
yes.
Okay.
And I am committed.
So you use it every day?
Every day. They have body scrubs, salt scrubs,
they have
butters,
everything.
face cleansers. It's everything. And I just go crazy. So hopefully they see this and pay me.
Right? Osea in California.
Hello, I'm plugging you. Okay. Yes, but that is my beauty
secret.
Yeah, and favorite thing.
Well, it works because she is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh,
so
thank you.
Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. So you guys, just to give you a overall of what we talked about today, we had Christine here talking about all things nursing and midwifery, but I wanted to put her and plug her into the philanthropy principle because she embodies a woman that has figured out her purpose, that is passionate about her assignment, and that is giving now to the community on so many levels. And so definitely tap into this episode so you can see a woman that embodies philanthropy at a level where she knows exactly what she's doing. She is passionate about what she's doing, and she's now giving back to the community by way of giving birth, bringing new life into the world. If you enjoyed this episode, I'm going to do what Coriel said. No, I'm just playing. If you enjoyed this episode, definitely like, comment, and share. And click the link below for more things pretty and profitable.
It's Aneesa Getaneh. They was doubting by my calling, now they peeping the wave.